Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy So What Day. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I have so much to share with you today that I was scrambling a little bit to get everything ready because not only am I going to share two really great, quick and easy, but effective projects with you today, but I also want to share all about our Bali tour. I have a little photos, slideshow, smattering to share with you. So I was going through all of those photos, and as you know, it takes a little while. At any rate, I think I'm ready. So I hope you are ready as well. Let's see. Just making sure I've got enough light on the situation here this morning. Before we get started with all of that, how is everyone enjoying our ultimate phone case embroidery session? If you are taking or have taken this session, give me a little shout out in the comments. Let me know how you're liking it. Give me a thumbs up if you're registered for this. You can still register for this whenever because it's not a live event. It's a start anytime sewing session that is completely self-guided. So all of the videos, all of the content, all of the design downloads to make these great phone case pouches, which, let's be honest, you don't really even need to just keep your phone inside. You can use this as a little crossbody pouch or even, small purse, put your cash and, your cards and even a small wallet would fit inside if you make the largest size. It's a really, really versatile project. I love it for a phone so that, I have so many pockets where my phone does not fit inside or it slips out when I'm sitting down. And let's be real, phones aren't getting any smaller really these days. They're only getting larger, so it's harder to even get them in our pockets. So it's really great to wear it crossbody style. You also learn how to make a wristlet strap version if you prefer that, or you can omit the strap altogether. But what's really cool about this is you'll learn the method for making this crossbody strap. It's fully adjustable with the use of a buckle slide, and it's also removable because it attaches to this little pouch or case or purse with some swivel clips. So you can easily remove the strap and just use the little pouch, throw it in a larger tote, all these great things. So we do still have kits available, and I want to mention that the kits for this session are only going to be on sale until the end of this month. So you only have about a week left to get the special sale price, and it's only $39.99 for this kit. So grab that up while you can. Make sure you've registered for this embroidery session so you can take advantage of all the great designs you get. You get 7 different sizes of cases to make. You also get a bonus cork key fob in the hoop design. You can see it there. It's got an R on it. And within the session, you'll get videos for how to merge a design of your choice, whether you want to put a letter on it, a monogram, a little motif, something like that. We will teach you in full videos how to combine 2 designs, how to navigate on your machine screen so you don't even need software in order to merge a design onto this key fob file. We will also, however, show you how to use software if you happen to have some or if you want to get a free trial of software. All the links you need are within that session. So you learn lots and lots of stuff here, not just how to make this ultimate phone case. So it's a really, really great comprehensive session, and I think that you will love the finished result as well. So make sure you are registered for that. Here's what the kits look like. We have 2 colorways available at that $39.99 special price. We have a turquoise colorway and a red colorway. Not only do you get these great fabrics, but you also get the cork fabric that you can use to create the strap of your choice, as well as your cork key fob. And you'll have a little bit left over to play with as well. Maybe you want to make a second key fob, something like this. It all depends on what type of strap you're making for how much cork you're going to use out of your kit. You also get 2 sulky stabilizers, some flannel interlining for your case, as well as all that great hardware, the snaps that you need, and of course, the beautiful sulky thread. So this is a great deal. I can't believe it's around 40 bucks for all this stuff that you get to make your phone case. All right. Also, I talked about this last week, but I'm getting so excited because we have an amazing turnout already for registrations for this year's New Year's Eve sew-along. This is our 5th annual event with Sally Tomato. I can't believe it's been 5 years. Let me know in the comments if you have joined us for all of our previous sew-alongs, because this is such a fun thing to do on New Year's Eve. A lot of us have the day off, or maybe a shortened day at work. Maybe we're taking holiday for the whole week. And it's just so fun to gather virtually with tons of sewists across the nation and beyond. And we all sew along together. There's a chat that is similar to this one here. And it's just such a good time. I will be joined with Jessica Barrera of Sally Tomato. She is going to take us through the construction steps of this fantastic bag that we're making. It's called the Dutton. So for those of you who are fans of Yellowstone, you understand the Dutton reference. And if you don't, that's okay too. So it's kind of, the leather and lace look that's super trendy. The lace is a freestanding lace piece that is specifically made to fit the front of this year's bag. And this was designed and digitized by our friends at Designs by Baby Moon. Love them. And they are generously providing this file to everybody who registers for this event. So you can create your freestanding lace before our event begins and have it ready and waiting in the wings, just as if it were a pattern piece that you are pre-cutting. So when you register for this event, you will have immediate access to the event page where you will find this video taking you through all of the steps for how to make this piece so you can have it and make it ahead of time. As you can imagine, this takes quite a bit of time to stitch out, and you might actually want to stitch 2 of them. In some of our bag samples, we have this piece on the front of the bag and on the back of the bag, but you might only want to showcase this on the front of the bag. So if so, you only need 1 of these pieces. If you want it on the front and the back, you'll need to make 2 of these pieces. So register for this event. It's going to be the best time ever. Not only will you get that freestanding lace design, you also get some files for making some cute little zipper pull charms. You can add those to one of your tassels on the front like I did here. And I will be going over this optional design on New Year's Eve. There's also a flat design. So if you like the look of this, but maybe you don't want the lace look, you get a design that you can create right on your fabric. So you'll get the look of this floral design without the lace underlay. So many different options to make the bag that you want to make on New Year's Eve. And the great thing about this event is that we're starting off 2025 having already made our first project of the year. So super exciting. Marcia has a question about when will the kits be sent out? And we will need to direct that question to Sally Tomato because they are fulfilling the kits for this event. So if you purchased a New Year's Eve Dutton bag kit from Sally Tomato, direct all of your kit questions over there. They will get back to you as soon as they possibly can. Their customer service is exemplary. So just shoot them an email or give them a call and they will let you know when your kit is going to ship and all of those questions that you have regarding the kit. There's also 2 colorways of this kit available. There's this brown one that's called Classic Cowgirl. And then there's also a really beautiful cherry. So it's like a deep, deep red with black. So there's also that option for the kit too. And quite honestly, I can't decide which one I like better. I focused on this one that you're seeing here for the tutorial for the lace. But if you are making the cherry one, your flowers will be made out of this beautiful red color, and then the background will be black. So it's kind of like an, I don't know how to describe it, maybe like a Western chic, elegant version, and then more of a classic kind of a little bit more casual version with the brown and the ecru color. So, and yes, Betsy, thank you for asking. You also get the bag pattern with your registration fee. So you get this full pattern, which is the Jessica bag pattern. And then there's an addendum to it for the Dutton hack, we're calling it. So you need both patterns, but that's a really great question because if you don't have embroidery capabilities, you can still make the bag using the Jessica version of the pattern. You just won't have this lace overlay on your bag. If you do want the lace overlay, you will use the Dutton addendum to the pattern. Okay, so all of this will be explained on New Year's Eve. Some of it is also explained ahead of time. Once you register for the event, you're going to get a supply list. You're going to get your pattern. You're going to get your embroidery designs. You're going to get lots of information to kind of sift through before we join each other on New Year's Eve. And the event begins at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time on New Year's Eve. We will be sewing for 4 hours, give or take. If you can't join for the entire time, be sure to just register for the event anyway, because when the event is over, it will become a video that you can watch whenever you have time. So this is really important too, because in the past, we've had some people who, and obviously this is going to happen, you just can't keep up with the speed that we're sewing at. We try to have breaks, we try to slow down, we try to stop for questions so that people can keep up, but we really can't anticipate everybody's sewing levels. And, should you make a mistake, that's going to, kind of slow you down too, right? Because you're going to have to rip out some stitches. It's bound to happen, right? So don't worry about trying to keep up for the 4-hour event, okay? Some people actually just tune in and they watch and they have a beverage of their choice and maybe a snack, and they watch and they ask questions and they take notes. And then after the event's over, they can take notes, they can review the video, they can pause and rewind. Even when you're taking notes, you can take note of the time. So maybe when you're making your bag, you can go back and review that chunk that you said to yourself, oh man, I'm going to need help with this part. So that's a really good way of going about it too. If you're worried about keeping up with us on the day of the event, just sit back and relax and watch. And then you can go back, over the weekend or after the holiday, after New Year's Eve, after New Year's Day, and work on your bag at your own pace. So don't worry about that at all. It's really just fun to come together, see everybody else's questions, and watch us go through this bag together. So I hope that you all register. Anne says, can't wait. Love the lace pattern for the bag. It just turned out so beautifully. Lori is saying, is it made of leather? It's actually made of faux leather. And it's a really, really great quality faux leather from Sally Tomato. I think you will love working with it. It has a really buttery, nice, high quality look and feel to it. So I think if you've never worked with a fabric like this before, give it a try. You're going to be so happy with the end result. And great part about this fabric is the edges don't fray. So we can have raw edges, and, like our opening sort of frame on the exterior of the bag, that's just raw edges right there. So we're just doing a lot of top stitching, which makes the construction even easier. So you don't have to look at a bag like this and say, oh, that's so high end, I'll never be able to sew that. Join us for this video, or excuse me, join us for this live streaming event, and I think we will be able to boost your confidence, and you will go to the sewing machine saying, I can do this. And I think you're going to be really happy with your finished bag. All right. How hard is the sew along, says Lisa. I would say confident beginner, but probably more intermediate of a pattern. But again, you're going to get the whole video tutorial. So I would say, even if you consider yourself a beginner, or again, if you have never worked with this type of fabric, I really encourage you to join us. I think that you will be so proud of yourself and feel so accomplished. Now, the freestanding lace, this looks kind of complicated, right? It's really not. This is all made out of thread, and your embroidery machine is doing all of this work for you. So as long as you're using the right stabilizer, which is included in the kits that Sally Tomato is fulfilling, you're using the right needle for the job, you're paying attention to some machine settings, press start and swap out your threads when you need to. It's really as simple as that. Then you're going to wash away your stabilizer. You're going to block this a little bit while it dries. All the information is in the video and within the event page. There's so many moving parts with these. I really think that you're going to have great success with it. All right. Colleen, thank you for saying that. She says the quality and instructions are usually wonderful and easy to follow. Yes, I really appreciate that. Okay. And also, if you do pre-order the kit, they will arrive early December in time for the event. Yes. So as long as you're ordering it with enough time for it to ship to you, you will have this on hand for the event. There are some instructions for preparing your fabrics prior to the event. Because as we know, with most sewing projects, we spend more time cutting than we do sewing, right? So we do want you to pre-cut your pieces. We do want you to have this freestanding lace piece or pieces, if you choose to make two, ready to go so that we can just start off, sewing at the machine on the day of the event. So you'll get all that information, all the tips that you need to know, all the preparation as soon as you are registered. Okay. I think I've answered all the questions there. You do, the kits are on sale. There are some different tiers of sale promotions going on with Sally Tomato. So make sure when you head on over there to purchase up your kit after you register for the event, make sure you read the fine print in the description of the kit over there, because there is a coupon code you need to be using if you want to get the special pricing on the kit. And I believe that's only available for another couple of weeks because they want you to make sure that you have this on hand. If you purchase this kit the day before the event, obviously it's not going to have time to get to you if you want to join us live. Now, of course, if you're going to wait to make yours and watch it when it's convenient for you, that doesn't matter as much. But all right. And yes, very good point. You never want to rush through the cutting process. So make sure that you are double and triple checking that cutting layout when you cut out your pieces. What I like to do is I turn my faux leather to the wrong side, and I use a chalk pencil and I mark all the pieces on the wrong side. That way, if I've messed something up, I can just brush that away and remark it. And that way I'm not making any cutting mistakes when I go to cut out my bag, because, we only have one kit to work with unless we've bought both colorways. Thank you for the questions on what size of hoop you need, because this is a big piece. Okay, so this piece I made in I believe it's a 7x12 hoop. It's a very large hoop. if you don't have a 7x12 or larger hoop, we have also included a 6x10 size. Both sizes will fit in your faux leather frame. Okay, so if you only go up to a 6x10 hoop, make that size and you will be fine. Your lace will just be a little bit more compact, shall we say, than this. Your flower is just going to be a tiny bit smaller, but it's still going to fit on your bag. So when you get your machine embroidery files, once you register for the event, you will see a 6x10 hoop size and a 7x12. You will also see both of those sizes for the flat version that is not lace. So you really need to be sure that you have transferred the proper design to your machine. Read all the information, watch the video so that you know which design to transfer over to your machine for the lace. It will be labeled as lace, okay? All right. If you're having problems with that code with Sally Tomato, please reach out to them directly. We will try to troubleshoot that on our end as well. All right, Sharon says, I'm all signed up and I ordered the black and red version. All right. Perfect. Also, the little charms, those will fit in a 4x4 hoop, probably even smaller. So you can make a ton of little lace charms as well. Somebody said they would work great as earrings. Absolutely. Little jewelry. And you can use them on zipper pulls, on your little fringes, your little tassels that go on the bag, your little straps, all kinds of things. So those are really cute, and those will fit in a much smaller hoop. Okay. Noreen says, can you actually sew your bag while watching the video, or does it go too fast to keep up? Well, we build in a lot of breaks and some breaks for Q&A. We try to go slowly for you, but we also have to fit it into that 4-hour time block. So we do have to keep the pace moving. But again, we try to stop and slow it down. As you know, especially with long seams, things like straps, it's a lot of repetitive sewing. You know, you'll do something on one side and then repeat it on the other. So there is time for you to catch up. But again, don't worry if you fall behind, because this will be a recorded live stream. So you will be able to watch it again and again, pause it when needed. And actually you can pause the live stream. So if you're okay with it taking you longer and we're going too fast, you can actually pause us while you're watching the live stream, then hit play when you have caught up, and you should be able to keep moving right along. All right. So that is New Year's Eve. I also want to let you all know that our next free webcast is happening on November. I had the day in my brain and then I second guessed myself. November 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. This is our gingerbread puff ornaments in the hoop. This is a free webcast, and we are featuring these adorable in the hoop ornaments from Parker on the Porch. You may remember Parker on the Porch. In the past, I've used a lot of her designs to showcase things on our blog, to showcase our great threads. She loves to use sulky threads and stabilizers as well, so it's a really great marriage that we have going on. But she digitized our boba tea pouch that we did a couple of years ago, and it was so super popular. I couldn't wait to work with her again. I will be doing this webcast on behalf of Parker on the Porch, and they designed these adorable little gingerbread faces for us. They look like little gingerbread cookies, and they have a little hole in the top so you can use it as an ornament. We will be making a little garland out of them. I'll show you how to combine them to make a cute wreath. There's all kinds of things you can do with these in the hoop designs, but first and foremost, they're going to be ornaments / gift tags. You could put them on everybody's little place setting, maybe tie them around a napkin with silverware. How cute would that be for your holiday table? So this is happening November 12th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So while you're registering for the Ultimate Phone Case for the New Year's Eve event, why not add this one to your library at sewingonline.sulky.com and join us on November 12th. Just like all of our events, if you can't join live that day, it will become a start anytime video. So you can review that video and grab up your freebie for this event, which is another In the Hoop design. It's an In the Hoop Christmas coaster. So just for registering for this event, you'll get that Christmas coaster for free. And yes, we have kits available for this webcast. You'll get some great Sulky Felty. That's what these cute little guys are made out of. Some thread, all the stabilizers you need. And what makes them puffy? Sulky Puffy Foam. So that's included with the kit as well. This is available for a really great price. So if you're looking to get one of our Ultimate Phone Case kits and you want to bump up your order to get free shipping, why not put in your Gingerbread Ornaments kit and you'll be good to go. All right. Susie says, I have signed up for that already. Perfect. Love it. Yes. Okay, so lots and lots of events coming up. You know, our lives are starting to get busy for the holidays. You know, once Halloween's over, it just seems like everything starts to get busy, busy, busy. So make sure to sign up for these, get them on your calendar. You'll get email notifications for these so you don't miss out on them. Grab up your kits before they sell out. And yes, I think you will really, really enjoy this cute project. All right, so I mentioned last week that we're back from Bali, and I will admit the jet lag has been real, okay? When you go, halfway around the world, it is a little bit insane to get back into the swing of things. So we've been back for a week now, and I'm going to share with you photos of our tour because a lot of you have emailed me directly saying, what's the value in these tours and what are we really getting to see? And is it really worth it? Can't I just go travel by myself? These types of things. And I really want to stress that when you go on a Sulky Craft Tours trip, there are so many things built into these tours that you probably would never be able to see if you booked this travel by yourself. There were so many things, making our own batik fabric in a private setting with just our group, things like this. Going to a Balinese village, of our tour guide and having him walk us through a day in the life of, being Balinese. It was absolutely incredible. And I heard a number of things from our tour mates, like, oh, we would never get this opportunity if it weren't for this tour. So I wanted to show you, photos of our days and, to really explain the value of these tours and how absolutely incredible they are. And shout out to everybody who was on this tour who is watching right now. I see names from people from our Bali tour, our Ireland tour, our previous Germany tours, and it just brings me so much joy to see you here watching on So What as well, because I really feel like, they're my extended family, these people that I meet on these tours. A lot of us, keep in touch after the fact, and it's just an incredible experience. I do want to mention also that our Greece tour is now up and ready for registrations over on the Craft Tours website. I linked directly to our page, the Sulky Craft Tours page, in the description of today's post. It's all the way at the bottom. So you'll need to click on that little See More button, and then you'll see all the links for the projects I'm going to show you today, as well as signing up for one of our Craft Tours trips. We are doing India in March. You can sign up for that one now. That one's closing soon. I want to say November-ish time frame. That one's going to close. So if you're thinking about India, might want to pull the trigger and get that on the docket for 2025. And then Greece is happening May 24th to June 1st. This is a fantastic time to go to Greece before the major tourist, timing. And the weather's going to be fantastic. Knocking on some wood here. We've gotten really, really lucky in our past tours regarding weather. So this is going to be absolutely incredible. If you've been thinking about this Greece tour and waiting for it to be up on the site, it is now ready and up there for registrations. All right, so when we arrived in Bali, we all got a plumeria lei. It was such a great little touch. We were all so incredibly exhausted from our hours and hours and hours and hours of travel. So that was really great to be greeted with a nice plumeria lei. And yes, I am extremely sweaty because I walked off of the plane to 98% humidity. And being from Colorado, it was a bit of a shock to my system, but I did get acclimated a little bit, we'll say, and it wasn't too uncomfortable. If you're going to Bali, remember to bring yourself a fan because I brought 3, and they saved my life. All right, so as we departed the airport, we had our first sunset in Bali, and it was just absolutely gorgeous as we were driving to our hotel. When we got to our hotel, we were greeted with a welcome drink. This is like a limey coconut water drink. It was very refreshing when we arrived and we were waiting for our keys. So that was special. And then rose petals all over my room. Of course, Bali is a great honeymoon destination, right? And as a solo traveler, I still appreciated all of the rose petals that were so neatly displayed in my fantastic hotel room. 5-star accommodations across the board, absolutely incredible hotels. In the morning, I could actually see my surroundings. This is the atrium of our hotel. How gorgeous is this? I woke up in the morning, opened the door, and saw this, and I was like, I didn't even notice this last night. First of all, I was so incredibly tired, and secondly, the sun had set, so it was totally dark out. But in the morning, I was greeted with this in the middle of our hotel. It was absolutely stunning. This is the view from our breakfast buffet, which was on this balcony that overlooked the infinity pool and the pool deck. And then beyond that was, jungly and just absolutely breathtaking. We were right next to the sacred monkey forest, and I'll get to that momentarily. This is a little bit of our breakfast buffet. Fresh, lovely, wonderful ingredients. Tons of baked goods and fruit to be had like no one's ever had fruit before in their life. Dragon fruit, pineapples, watermelon. This changed out every day. We also had different juices to choose from every morning, all fresh. Very, very beautiful stuff. Janice is saying, I apparently missed the demonstration. You didn't miss anything, Janice. I haven't even gotten to the tutorial yet for today, so I hope you stick around. I will get to our Felty ornaments momentarily. All right, so day 1, we dove right in and went to the sacred monkey forest. I will say I was pretty terrified of this because I had heard stories of monkeys jumping on you, and the thought of that was freaking me out. But I held it together. I was arm in arm with some of my new friends, and they saved my life. No, not really. It was fine. So when you enter the sacred monkey forest, you go through this little cave, which again, for me, was a little unsettling, but everyone on our tour was totally fine with it, walking through the cave, and you can already see some little monkeys on the top of that statue there. So we knew we were in it. All right, so right away we start seeing the monkeys, and they are everywhere. Babies, mamas, everything. They had a little feeding frenzy. They were feeding them right when we walked by. So here's just a mama and her little baby. So cute to watch them in action. And here we go. Some people in front of me right away had a little baby monkey start crawling up his leg. And again, I was terrified, but I was working through my fear because this was an unforgettable experience. Some of our tour mates, everyone got along so well. It was incredible. Everyone was so kind. And here I am trying to get over my fears and take some really great photos because, like I said, this place was just unforgettable. That same day, we went to the BALI Bird Park and we had a little demonstration on all kinds of birds, hawks, owls, macaws, parrots. I mean, it was really, really fun, awesome experience. We walked through the bird park on our own. We pretty much stayed together as a group for the most part. So this was a leisurely day, but a lot to see and a lot of great photo ops. So after that, we made our way back to the hotel. I just took some photos along the way of, the sights and the buildings around us. Scooters everywhere. The traffic was nuts. I mean, there's no traffic lights. They just merge into each other when they need to turn. So very thankful that we had a very skilled bus driver who was all about being aggressive when needed, but not scaring us to death. All right, so that night we had our welcome dinner, and it was dinner and a show. So we had fantastic food, and then we also had this dancing demonstration where they went through all these traditional Balinese dances, told us a little bit about them, and then these gorgeous dancers came out and gave us demonstrations. This was another guy in a really great mask, all traditional dress. It was just incredible. And then they brought some of us up on stage to teach us a little bit of the dances. So that was really fun. And here is most of our group got up for a group photo after our dance instruction. All right, so the next day I mentioned our tour guide. He was phenomenal. His name was Made, and he took us to his home. We went and saw a Balinese village, and we saw his temple. We saw we met some of his family. They guided us through how to create an offering basket. So we made a little crafty, offering basket. It's made of, banana leaves and coconut leaves and all kinds of flower petals. And, you see these everywhere in Bali. People just put out offering baskets, I believe twice a day, actually, before sunrise and then at sunrise. So we made our own. We got a lesson on how to do it right. And then these are the beautiful flowers we put in our baskets. Here's the beginning of my basket that I then, added flowers and all kinds of things to. They can also put, candies and things inside as well. And then they dressed us up in traditional Balinese dress. So we got sarongs put on us the right way, and, some scarves and things. And then we went and gave our offerings to an offering basically inside of the temple. And, you could just give yours to whichever gods or god you believe in, or simply just, put it out. All right. Then we had to have some coconut water, replenish all of the moisture we are losing due to all the sweating that we're doing, right? So I finally got to drink out of a coconut. It was amazing. completely appropriate. So we chilled, had some coconut water, and got a little talk about, this marketplace we were at and everything that we experienced that day. We also went to a woodworking demonstration. I believe this was the next day, but quite honestly, the days are kind of running together for me. So hopefully I have my photos in order here for you. But we saw these men make these beautiful wood carvings. And look how, I have to make this bigger. Look how they're holding the wood with their feet and carving it with these tools. And you see that little elephant carving there. That's what this guy to the left is making. The guy to the right is carving out a mask. So he's like working on the nose part right there. And some of these, wood carvings were absolutely amazing. This was just a cute little one that was in their little shop. But I mean, look at these chairs and everything around. There were eagles and just absolutely incredible, amazing stuff. And then, of course, we got to go shopping a little bit there. So the next day, I woke up really early with a couple of friends, and we went down to the morning markets before sunrise so that we could see how all the locals shop, because really they shop before 6 a.m. and then after the sun comes up, it's gone and it goes to the dry market. So this is where they would get all of their things for their offerings in the mornings, all of these beautiful flowers and flower petals, and then also buy their produce and fresh items that they are going to cook with that day. So onions and shallots and peppers and garlic and ginger and all of these beautiful, beautiful smells. Here's just some beautiful peppers and galangal and turmeric, ginger, all kinds of fruits. Also people making fresh things like soups and broths. So that was really fantastic experience. So this is actually an art gallery, one of the largest in the area. This is what it looks like when you walk in. And we had a demonstration from these beautiful artists making these different traditional Balinese paintings. The guy on the right here is making a charcoal drawing, and the man on the left is doing a textured painting technique. So it was almost like using kind of like sponges or really thick paintbrushes to create this really thick textured paint. So it was a really, really neat demonstration. And then they took us through a painting class. So we all got to paint our own canvas with the help of these gentlemen. And here I am painting mine. And it was so great. They gave us cold waters everywhere we went. They knew that we needed it. So this is my finished painting. And then we have all of our paintings drying out in the sun while we went and walked through their gallery and checked out all of their beautiful paintings for sale and paintings that they were working on. All right, then we went to the rice terraces. So if you've ever seen Eat, Pray, Love, this is the love part of Eat, Pray, Love, where Julia Roberts is swinging over the rice terraces. So this is where we were. This was breathtakingly gorgeous. You can see, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. You can see this man down here walking across the rice terraces. Just scenery that you just wouldn't even believe was actually real and happening in front of you. So here I am sitting in one of these little photo op spots at the rice terraces. All right. And quite honestly, pictures don't do that place justice. You really have to experience it. Okay, one of the days we went to a luwak coffee plantation. If you're familiar with luwak coffee, let's say it's harvested by by processing and sanitizing poop from a mongoose. Okay, the mongoose eat the coffee beans, and then expel them. Then they are harvested from the poop in very, very sanitary conditions. So we learned all about that process, and then how they roast the beans, and the different acidity levels of different coffee beans, because they also have Arabica and, other kinds of beans as well. Then we had a coffee and tea tasting. That was really interesting. If you wanted the special Luwak coffee, which is the most expensive coffee in the world, you had to pay extra for that one, which I did. And I will say it wasn't that impressive to me, and I love coffee. But they keep the grounds in with the coffee. So if you go to stir it around, you do not want to do that because you're stirring up all the grounds into the coffee. I learned that the hard way, and then I had to wait and let my coffee sit and settle again so I could sip it without getting the grounds in my mouth. So it was an experience, we'll say that. And the coffee and tea tasting was super fun and delicious. We got to go through all of their teas with different fruits and things like saffron tea. And there were little write-ups about everything, telling you kind of what this particular tea is good for. Does it help with inflammation? Does it help with body odor? Things like this. So it was really fun to go through each one. And we paired up on our tasting journey so we could kind of compare and contrast with each other. And that was really fun. All right, we went to an ECAT weaving facility. So we learned how they make beautiful ECAT tapestries and fabrics. This was absolutely incredible. This is a bobbin winder that they crafted from, look at this. It's like bicycle tires, okay? And they're weaving the bobbins after they've dyed this thread using their ECAT boards. And this was just absolutely amazing. Everything's done by hand, but they've figured out a way to make it work for them, and it was incredible. So to make the ECAT patterns, they weave this, what is it, like straw, almost like raffia kind of material across this board, and then they tie off their pattern using these plastic like sections, or plastic strips rather. So this man has tied everywhere that you see green, that's the plastic strip that he's tied around the raffia, or the material. And then they string the thread across, and the thread gets dyed in this pattern. Then when they go to put the thread on the loom, it's already in this pattern, gets the warp and the weft come together. It was quite a process. And then here you can see the first round of this pattern that is woven into these fantastic fabrics and tapestries. So, I'm giving you such a quick overview. You would learn so much more by being on this tour with us. Then, of course, we got to go shopping if you wanted to purchase some of these beautiful ECAT tapestries, fabrics. They also had some pre-made things like shirts and sarongs, and things like that. All right, so this was really the highlight of the trip for so many, including myself. We got to create our own batik fabric. We went to a batik factory. We saw how these batiks are made, and then we got to make them ourselves. So you can see the white fabrics we could choose from cotton or rayon. And then we needed to do our first dyeing of the fabric. So we went over to these buckets that had all kinds of different colors in them. We submerged our fabric for our first dye into the color of our choice. Then you go over to this mesh rack where they have the fabric that you see below our batiks is also kind of mesh-like. It almost had like a plastic coating or something on it so that the dye could kind of go through without pooling up on the fabric. So then you take your fabric yardage that you've just dyed and you kind of scrunch it up, okay? Not like tying it off like tie-dye, but you just scrunch it up, rather evenly, or as evenly as you can, and then you let it dry on these drying racks. Then you treat it with some soda ash to set the dye, so that I'm sprinkling that over the top, and then this dries. Once it's fully dried, we got to pick out the stamps of our choice, and the stamps are all hand carved from wood. It's all very fascinating. And then you dip your stamp into this very, very hot wax, and you stamp the wax over the top of your fabric. Very hard, at least for me, to match up my stamp, but they helped us along, so everybody got the chance to stamp their own fabrics. Then after the wax is applied, then you do your second dyeing of the fabric, because whatever is not stamped is going to get dyed again. So your first dye is what you're going to see when the wax is removed. All right. So then we dye it again in another color of our choice. And then we do the same thing. Put it on that drying rack and scrunch it up. And notice that this is just mesh now. They've removed that first layer of mesh, like plasticky, fabricy stuff. And now we're on our second dyeing. This is what my fabric ended up looking like. You got to choose 2 cuts for a total of 2 meters, just over 2 yards, or you could do 1 2-yard piece if you wanted to. So I did a purple in the rayon, and then I did the green and yellow in the cotton. And I will say the patterns I chose were pretty basic. They had some really intricate, beautiful floral patterns, bird patterns, every stamp imaginable. I mean, there were hundreds of stamps to choose from. It was really difficult. So this is my finished fabric that I get to figure out something to do with and share with you all. All right, then we went to a different resort. We were now on the beach. So now our hotel was beachfront property. It was absolutely incredible. And we got to do a cooking class. We actually went to a different hotel to do the cooking class because this one was state of the art. This is actually where like Barack Obama stays here or has stayed here. You know, lots of celebrities go to this resort. So it was really kind of neat to experience the luxury side of Bali now. So we got to do this cooking class. They had everything set out for us. And here's what I had the pleasure of chopping. I had to chop all of this up as finely as possible. And then we ground it up into a paste. And we used that paste for a number of dishes. You could put the paste into coconut milk for a sauce. You could put it into a soup. You could use it as a marinade. So this is really multi-purpose. And we had 3 different pastes we were making. So whether you were doing a vegetable-based paste or paste for vegetables, paste for meat, paste for fish. So you can see the shallots, the garlic, the nuts, the turmeric, the fresh chilies, and coconut oil, all of the spices. It was phenomenal. So here we are getting some instruction from our great chef. And then we go ahead and start making things. We made like 14 dishes or something like that during this cooking class. It was amazing. So this was actually a chicken skewer that was put on a lemongrass stick. So it's ground up chicken and part of the paste. And you kind of mix it all together and form it around the lemongrass. And then they put it on a satay grill. So after our cooking class, this was quite a few hours. And it was super fun. Then they served us all the food that we had made. So just food for days. It was absolutely awesome. Oh, I guess that was our last excursion. That night after the cooking class, we were on our own and we could just relax at the resort, pack up as needed. We had our farewell dinner at the resort and got to say goodbye, exchange emails, all of those good things. So as you can see, these craft tours trips are incredible, so packed with fun things to do, but we still had a lot of time to ourselves, a lot of time to go exploring alone if we wanted to, go out on our own, have some time to relax, read a book on the beach, these kinds of things. So if you do want to join us for one of our future craft tours, check them out. Again, we're going to India in March. We're going to do all things embroidery in India, and then we're heading to Greece in May. Both of those tours are up for registrations now. And then we will be returning to Germany and Austria for Christmas markets and to go to the Sulky factories to see where Sulky thread is made. And all of that is happening in the end of the year in 2025. So you have lots of time to plan for your trips for 2025. As you're looking at the holidays this year, why not give yourself the gift of travel? And you can experience something like this with us. All right. So let's get to the projects today. I know some of you came to Sew What to see how these felt ornaments are made. So I also want to say our giveaway for one lucky viewer today who was watching and commenting and somehow engaging with the post here today will win our Autumn Sampler Petites assortment. This is a selection of 6 cotton Petites threads, some blendables in there, some solids in there in these great autumn fall colors. And this is what is used actually in our felt leaves ornament garland that I'm going to take you through quickly here. So you can win this thread pack. You will also need some felty. So I mentioned these ornaments are made out of felt, and you want to use Sulky Felty for the best sewing experience. This is our neutrals assortment of Sulky Felty, and you can see it comes with these great brown colors, some blacks and whites and grays. And we also threw in some oranges and greens and muted red tones of Felty that are found in the rainbow assortment. But really the base here is this Felty Neutrals pack. Let's see here. So once you have your Felty, once you have your 12 weight cotton Petites thread, you also need to grab up your leaf templates. And those are in the blog post that I linked in the description of today's post. It'll say featured products, and you'll find links to the templates for the leaf ornaments, as well as the tree ornaments that we're going to make for holiday timing, and then links for the Felty and the thread and all of that. All right, so here are our leaf ornaments. You can string these up for a cute little garland. You can put hanging loops individually on them. Maybe you live in a place where the leaves don't change color, and you could actually put these out and have your own little changing of the seasons in felt form. These would also be really cute on a Thanksgiving table. You could cluster them in the middle of the table as a little centerpiece. You could put one with each place setting, or as I mentioned with our cute little holiday trees, you could tie these around a napkin with silverware at each place setting. So lots of different ways you could use these ornaments as well. All right, so first things first, you're going to cut out an inner leaf and an outer leaf template. You also need another outer leaf that you're going to use as the backing for your leaf after your embroidery is complete. So we're going to layer our inner leaf and outer leaf, one on top of the other, and we're going to start doing our embroidery. And you can really choose the designs of your choice. You can reference the blog post to see which stitches were used in the making of these samples. But first off, you want to do your outer stitching to secure your inner leaf to your outer leaf. And then you could start doing the detail stitching of your leaf veins. Okay, so that's just a little straight stitch or a back stitch, running stitch. Then you can get crazy, add some beading, add some other embroidery stitches, maybe some French knots, maybe some stem stitches or lazy daisy stitches. You can really have fun with it. This is a great project to teach other people how to sew, or maybe you need a project for the little ones over Thanksgiving break. This would be really great, something they can do with their hands. Working with felt is so easy. And going into a bead stash or button stash that maybe you have. Maybe you have a button jar. It would be really cute to add little buttons to these as well. So once you have all of your embroidery how you want it, you need your second outer leaf, and you will place that behind the embroidery you've just done. And you can start blanket stitching these together. You can also take this over to your sewing machine at this point and just top stitch the perimeter, leaving an opening for stuffing. All right, so take a little bit of fiber fill, stuff your leaf a little bit. Doesn't have to be, like a pillow, but just to give it a little bit of loft and dimension. Once you have it stuffed to your liking, you can just finish up the rest of the stitching, whether you're doing blanket stitching by hand or stitching on your sewing machine, and it's just that simple. Then you can hand tack your hanging loop in place, or if you're going to use these as a garland, you can get a piece of ribbon or even a leftover piece of binding, something like this, and stitch them all to your hanger. So very, very cute. You can really make these as intricate or as simple as you want. I love the addition of beading though. I think it really kind of kicks it up a notch, and it doesn't really require that much more sewing. You can add the beads as you're doing those straight stitches too. Even if you have some little sequins remnants, those would be really cute on here as well. So stitch up some fall leaves and add them to a little garland, make them into ornaments, put them in place settings. Really, really cute, simple, and easy. Along the same lines, now I'm going to show you some Christmas themed tree ornaments. So ornaments in the shape of a tree, along the same lines as these cute little leaves. But now we're going to be using the 12-weight Christmas sampler thread assortment. You can see too, you've got some blendables threads in here as well as some solids. So we have some really great thread assortments that are named for the seasonality. So it's really easy for you to shop those. You don't have to go through our entire thread catalog to kind of curate the colors that you need for the holiday. You can just grab up a Christmas assortment and you're sure to have some really great threads that coordinate with the fabrics that you're using. So along with this, you'll want to grab up our holiday felty assortment. This has those great greens, reds, a black and a white. So this is all the felt that you need for tons of Christmassy holiday felty projects, including these great ornaments. All right. So first up, you're going to grab the tree templates from our blog post, also referenced in featured products in the description of today's post. You'll find the tree template download. Not only do you get these triangles, but you also get a map for the stitches and the cute little lines on here as well that you can transfer to your felty trees. So gather up your supplies. You can see some of those great felty colors from the holiday assortment and the Christmas sampler thread pack. And in order to start making our trees, so we want to add our embroidery. Speaking of sequins, great place to use sequins, buttons, beads, little remnants of rickrack or ribbon. So you can just really dive into your stash and use up those little bits that you have to make something really, really cute. Here's the little green one after the embroidery is complete. It's got a chain stitch for the little line of garland, and then some lazy daisies on there as well. So first up, you're going to transfer the markings from the tree template onto your felty tree. We're just working with one tree at a time here, one outer tree. So you can see we've used a little bit of chalk to just mark these. I should say this one was designed by Chelsea Briner of So Simple Home, and the leaves were designed by Ashley Huff. All right, so once you've transferred that, you can really just start stitching. And you can use the embroidery stitches that you love, or you can reference the blog post and the pattern or /templates to see this recommended stitches for each one of these, or just go rogue, do your own thing. You can see this one has some back stitches, some French knots. Again, add beading for your little holly. That would be so cute. So once you have your embroidery complete, you're going to put your embroidered tree right side up. and then your tree backing triangle, and you're going to sandwich a little folded piece of ribbon between the two, and that's your little tree trunk. How cute is this? So we'll pin those together, and kind of in the same way, you're going to do part of your perimeter stitching. You can either stitch that on your sewing machine using a 50 weight cotton thread so it kind of blends into the felt, or you can stitch that by hand using the blanket stitch like you saw in the leaf ornament. Then you're going to stuff this a little bit so it has that cute little loft to it, and then you will simply finish up your sewing to close your opening with stitches. Once that's complete, you just need to add your little hanging loop at the top, and your ornament is complete. I love these as little party favors on your holiday table. Everybody gets to take one home, and then they have their own little handmade ornament. And it's a great keepsake gift. Everybody can have one, or you can string them up on your holiday tree and have it be really festive and matching. So again, a great way to grab up all those little scraps that you have left over, little lengths of rickrack that we can't throw out, use them here. Grab your buttons from your button jar, random little beads. Maybe you have some, mismatched or broken earrings or something like this that you can incorporate and have a lot of fun with here. Great activity for kids. Great way to teach sewing to a newbie as well. So I knew that today's projects were going to be so quick and that you all would be running out to get your holiday felty assortments, your neutral felty assortments, so that you can make a ton of these assembly line style. They would also look really cute as little gift tags on, a larger gift or a present of some sort. So love it, and great way to just kind of kick off, the fall season and the holiday season as we're getting ready to give gifts and have dinner parties and have people over and all those great things. Where are the leaves and ornaments found? They are at blog.sulky.com, and I link directly to those individual posts so you can go and grab up those templates. So click on the See More button and the whole description below me will pop out, and you'll find links for the felty, the thread, the blog posts where you can go and grab up those templates. All right, so cute with the beading. Yes, there's a template for the trees. You'll find it in the link to the blog post there. Denise says, love this. We'll be doing it with my granddaughters. Great idea. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me today. I know it was a bit of a longer So What, but I just wanted to share our Bali trip with you, and thank you to my tour mates. I so enjoyed meeting you, getting to know you, and having this experience of a lifetime with you. And I hope that you and everyone else will join on a future craft tour. It is, an experience of a lifetime every single time that I go. If you have any questions about our craft tours trips, you can email info@sulky.com. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions that I can, or direct you to the right person who has the answers that you need. All right. Well, everyone, have a great rest of your day. Be sure to head on over to sewingonline.sulky.com and register for all of the great events that I talked about at the beginning of today's show. And I'll see you next Tuesday for another So What.